Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Lori from Tiori, and welcome back to another episode of Nusantara. And here we are back at the options, and of course, the only option was to ask him more about the Cassie dance. And I didn't know that. So, the Cassie dance is supposed to be a war dance ritual where warriors join to have fun while also testing their skills. In the performance, it taught us not to hold grudges and value our bond as brothers more than to win. It was nothing if we got scars on our body, but if we got scars on our face, it meant a lifetime of shame. He disregarded all the mores of the Cassie dance and gave me these deliberately. A reminder of my loss and shame. He just pretended to be my friend while aiming to steal what is mine. Bitterly, he closed his eyes before they suddenly flickered to me. Purba cannot be trusted. If you know what's good for you, stay away from him. With that final warning duly noted, I continued to the next question. Of course I wouldn't do that. How can I trust that guy? I was about to ask Rexa another question when he suddenly looked at me, as if I grew a third arm. I tilted my head. What? It was amusing to see him slowly turn red. Listen, I don't know why I told you those things, but if you told anyone... He hung his words in a silent threat, and I gulped. Cross my heart, I won't tell anyone. Good. Even though he said that, Rexa still threw glances at me with a strange glint in his eyes that I couldn't identify. He seemed to be uncomfortable and a little dazed. Tired, maybe. So I decided to end the conversation. As short-lived as it was, I had fun, and I looked forward to more conversations with him. Alright, so where will I be sleeping then? Snapping out from his daze, Rexa looked to his bed and then at me. We'll share the bed, of course. Yeah, Rexa. What? There's only one blanket, so we'll have to share. Unless you want to freeze, of course. I gave him a look. What? I am injured. Surely you wouldn't expect me to sleep outside. Also, this is my house, my bed, my rules. True enough. I began to think whether there would be another solution of this. It wouldn't be appropriate, even more so when I am so attracted to Rexa. When I was thinking, Rexa's neutral look suddenly turned smug. Wondering what he was thinking, I arched an eyebrow. Don't worry, I won't bite hard. Rexa did not just say that. For a few moments, I just stood there, too flabbergasted to speak. Who are you, and what did you do to Rexa? No, forget it. Let me check your wounds again. You must be delirious. Rexa had a rare amused gleam in his eyes, which I didn't know whether it was good or bad. He then walked up to me with a predator-like grace. The look in his eyes kind of scared me. With every step he took, I stepped back. Rexa? Hello? Are you in there? Are you okay? Rexa, this is not funny. I'm not trying to be funny. Don't you want to check my wounds again? My heart skipped a beat. While he took another step, I stepped back. This game continued until I was driven to the wall. With no other options, I slid down while I was sitting on the floor, and he followed. I'm waiting. Rexa purred? Rexa freaking purred? How the heck would he purr was beyond my knowledge. Trying to distract myself, I busied my hands by checking on his wounds. I'll make sure you eat antidote herbs after this, whether you like it or not. And... All of a sudden, he nuzzled in the crook of my neck, and I froze. You are too... close. I tried to inch away from him, but he was damn persistent. Too bad for you then, I'm comfortable where I am. Cheeks reddening even more, I thought I was going to faint any time soon from over-embarrassment. He leaned in, and more of his body's weight was shifted on me. When he finally put all his weight and pinned me to a wall, my face was beet red. Rexa, seriously, what are you doing? If you're gonna tease me like this, you had enough fun. Rexa, you're heavy. Rexa? Okay. And he fell asleep. I gawked. He teased me and then he sleeps on me? Are you freaking kidding me? How could anyone sleep through the situation? Not like I was disappointed or anything, I just couldn't believe him. Of course you were disappointed. Alright, maybe he was tired after Cassie dance. But seriously? I wanted to either bang my head to a wall or knock some sense into Rexa for messing with me. But of course, good manners won out. I glanced over Rexa's bed. Fortunately, the stack of hay was right beside me, so it was not too difficult for me to get him there. How could you sleep on me like that? I poked Rexa's cheek. It was hard for me to stay mad at Rexa when he looked like this. Now that I thought about it, it was actually the first time I saw Rexa sleeping face closely. He was always on guard, and when I came to the cave, this felt like a luxury to me. Rexa looked younger when he was not glaring or growling like usual. Is he younger than me? The thought briefly flashed. It was not that I mind, but liking a younger guy never once crossed my mind. Tamara admitted she liked him. Oh well. I glanced out of the window once more and noticed that the sun was already set. A good night's sleep sounded tempting. We had a long day today, maybe longer tomorrow. Who knew what could happen, right? It was logical to get as much rest as I could. Setting myself beside Rexa with a respectable distance, I pulled the blanket over us. My cheeks warmed again when I realized I was surrounded with Rexa's scent. Not that I really mind. Malam Rex. What does that mean? What? Okay. The next day, when the sun was barely up, Rexa woke me up. He was already on his feet, fully prepared, and urged me to get ready fast. I was never nervous at first, but he didn't seem to remember what happened last night. Good grief. I almost choked on my own spit when a sudden feeling of disappointment appeared. I really need to organize my feelings quickly. Whoa. Barely 10 minutes later, we were out and I immediately shivered. There was a thin morning mist covered the whole village and it was quiet, too quiet and cold. Salamat pagi, Rexa McBuck. Where are you going at such an early hour? Salamat pagi. I have to go back now and Rexa has accompanied me. Oh, back to your village? It's a shame you couldn't stay here longer. We should be going. Rexa scowled. It seemed like you didn't want to disclose any more information. Of course, I'm sorry for taking your time. It's okay. You're a nice villager. Rexa seemed to be on edge as he quietly observed our surroundings while I wondered where the warriors went to. Was it natural for Lane Nadar to be so barren in the morning? Something's up, is it? The forest lay ahead, and just when we were about to set foot inside, a figure emerged from beyond the trees. Who's this guy? Is that the chief? A man with long white hair and a bigger muscled body than anyone else had seen walked gracefully out of the forest with a couple of warriors by his side. He had a regal and noble air about him, but his green eyes looked dead to me. They didn't have much life in them. If you asked me, I would say he didn't look well at all. Father. This is Rexa's father? Despite Rexa's rather quiet voice, the man seemed to hear him. Something flashed with Rexa's eyes when he walked towards us. Rex's foot dragged across the ground before taking a small step back. He also blinked a few times before holding his face high and tensing his body with both of his hands to his side. That was when I realized Rexa was nervous. But at the same time, I could see eagerness in his eyes. He was nervous, but also happy to call his father's attention. I smiled at the seemingly childish gesture. Like all boys, Rexa had also held great pride and respect for his father. Father, I have returned. So you have. It was unfortunate that your first hunt failed. Now, where is Purba? Like being splashed with cold water, Rex's face fell and I could almost felt how his heart dropped at his father's unimpressed remark. He was at the healer's place. Rex's father frowned. How come? I beat him in a cassie dance. Really? After all these years of losing, I find it hard to believe. Gosh, man, vicious! Couldn't believe my ears. Is he really his father? His voice sounded bored and monotone, like he did not care and would rather be somewhere else. Rexa may not show it on his face, but I could sense how much it hurt him. After all the trouble he went through to beat Pupa and prove himself. Purba. This was what he got? How could this man hold so little trust in his own son? For once, I was struck speechless. And this is... Rexa moved in front of me. She is my guest. I see. Sir, I have a message from Chief Sukuma from Loma Village. Oh! I snapped out loud from the shock when I heard Granny Sukuma's name. Sukuma? Should I deliver it to Purba like always, sir? No need. Meet me after I visit Purba. I need to settle this. With that last remark to his warrior, the man walked past us without even saying goodbye. I can't read today, what? Leaving a crescent-fallen Rexa behind. The nerve of him. But what is Granny Sukuma planning? More importantly, I lightly touched Rex's left hand, and he tidily shifted his face to look at me. Are you alright? I'm alright. He shook off my hand gently and frowned. We should go. No, I need to know what they're planning. You are not alright. It was a statement, not a question. I'm fine. Is your father sick? Woman, you better cease your blabbering if you want to keep that tongue. I think he is sick. Maybe that's why he acted so strange. He should not act like that with you. Enough. Rexa snarled at me so suddenly that I jumped in surprise. He is not sick. He is the strongest, wisest Komodo I have ever known. Don't you dare badmouth him in front of me. He was just disappointed with me. He has been for the last 10 years. Oh my god, really? He's been a douche for 10 years? That's why I need to work hard to gain his approval again. If he says that I need to work harder, then I will. I believe in him. Now that's more like the Rexa I knew. Sulking doesn't suit you. Rexa let out an exasperated groan, while I smiled in amusement. He didn't look so scary to me anymore. Not when I know he would not hurt me. You're impossible. Thank you, many people say that. I cut him off before he could protest. But seriously, don't take your father's words to heart. You have proven yourself to me and the villagers. I think you will surpass him and be a good leader. Your father just needs more time to see that. But if he doesn't, I'll just open his eyes with force. I wrinkled my fingers. Like you could ever touch him. Try me. I managed to tame you, right? Rexa rumbled a warning growl at me, but I ignored it with good humor. I'm glad he didn't look so hurt anymore. I didn't like it when he pushed me away, but even more so when he was sad. The rest of the journey had gone with a comfortable silence between us. And guys, I think I'm ending this episode right here. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you click that like button and also subscribe to my channel. See you guys soon. Bye!